Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's the start of 2025 and we're already seeing AI filmmaking making bigger waves than ever. We believe we'll see major progress in image quality and actors' performance integration this year. It is going to be an exciting ride. So to kick off the new year, we want to look at the various video generating platforms out there, see where they stand right now, and share our thoughts on the results they produce, specifically for creating narrative video content. And by the way, stick around until the end of this video for a sneak preview of the scene from our episode 2 of Save the World. We used Runway's new Act 1 feature with the video-to-video option to generate an AI reference scene instead of a simple photo like before. So stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. Okay, so first, we'll compare the top video generation platforms like the brand new Sora, along with Runway, Minimax, Kling, and Luma. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you'll stay up to date with all our videos and tutorials. Alright, let's get started. Although these platforms have improved a lot over the past year, it still takes a lot of trial and error to get the results you want. So if you're diving into AI filmmaking in 2025, be prepared to generate a ton of test footage before you lock in something satisfying. And be ready to tweak your story to align with what the tools can really deliver. Because of this, we had to adopt a non-traditional production workflow. Hopefully, things will get better in the coming months. For now, staying flexible is essential. It calls for a unique brand of creativity, but we still think the results are pretty impressive. We're working on detailed tutorials for each step of production, showing how we add flexibility to our process. Since we're talking about our AI series, let us start by showing you a snippet from our first version, which we produced in summer 2024, but never released.
Be careful.
I'm sorry. Yes, Max. I'm almost out of the airport.
I'm sending you the location of the car right now.
Okay, see you at the hotel.
Hard to believe, but at that time, we actually felt pretty encouraged. We thought we were starting to control our characters, but you can see how inconsistent they look. We use Runway Gen 2 and Luma. The footage is low resolution, blurry, and the movements are unnatural with plenty of visual glitches. Now, here's the exact same scene in the version that actually aired in November.
Of course I know. I could have been here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now be careful. So young to be on drugs.
Where are you?
I'm almost out of the airport.
I'm sending you the location of the car right now.
Okay, see you at the hotel.
I saw that creepy boy here again, Lucy. He looks dangerous.
Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
There's a huge improvement in character consistency. You can really recognize them from one shot to the next. The overall rendering looks way better, more realistic, and we also use upscaler for a final polish. Still, you'll notice the shot where our main character bumps into the older woman is far from perfect. Complex motions remains really tough to pull off right now. The reason we wanted to show you these examples is to highlight how quickly the models have evolved in just a few months, and that's seriously encouraging for the future. From the beginning, we decided to aim for the most realistic look we could. It's a big challenge, but we really believe realism is the future of AI cinema and TV. Telling stories with characters that convey real emotion is the key to generally capturing an audience. Now let's do a quick side-by-side of the most popular platforms. We'll start with some simple shot based on realistic photo we've created in Flux. So it's simple image to video examples. It's not too hard, but it shows each platform's strength and weaknesses clearly. By the way, we didn't use any prompts. Everything was pure image to video with no special settings. So here we go. Here's our first example. We're starting off with a still image of a woman dressed for winter. We're not really sure what setting she's supposed to be in, but let's see how each platform interprets it. Overall, it's not bad for Kling 1.6. Her eyes look a little strange though, and she could show a bit more emotion. On the bright side, there's some nice camera movement happening. In Luma's version, you get a bit more emotion in her expression, but the eye movements still feel off, and the background just sits there, totally static. Minimax gives us a very realistic look, but it often goes rogue and makes the character talk, even when we specifically tell it to keep quiet. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Runway starts strong. The first half is one of the most interesting versions we've seen, but then there's this odd glitch in the second half, a transparent glass layer that pops up. Aside from that though, it looks really great. Finally, there's Sora. It does a solid job at first, with some actual background activity, plus very lifelike facial expressions and movements. The only drawback is that Sora has a tendency to, well, hallucinate a bit, but we'll dive deeper into that soon. Alright, let's jump into our second example. It's a close-up shot of a man's face, and he looks like he's decked out in an astronaut suit. We love this image for all the detail it shows, especially the skin texture. Kling gives us a good take, but you might notice a slight vibrating effect, which drops the quality just a bit. On the upside, the eye movement looks really solid. With Luma, the image quality takes a nosedive after just a few seconds. We've seen this issue in a bunch of Luma's outputs. Great at first, but then it degrades. Minimax is its usual hyperactive self. It loves making the characters talk, even when we don't want them to. But overall, its realism and image quality are really impressive. Runway delivers a more static result. That's a common complaint with Runway. It tends to play it safe when you try to bring out character emotions. On the plus side, the actual image quality is sharp. Finally, Sora treats us to some seriously cinematic camera movement, and the realism is off the charts. Good job there. Next up, we've got a guy in a futuristic setting. We chose this shot for the detailed facial features. Kling does a solid job. The man looks focused, his facial movements feel lifelike, and the background activity really holds up. Luma, on the other hand, struggled a bit with this one. The overall image quality is noticeably lower, blurry and a bit warped compared to the other platforms. Minimax is, as always, bursting with energy. It even added extra dialogue we didn't ask for, but it absolutely nails those subtle facial expressions. Runway gave us a much cleaner result with great quality. However, whenever we need strong emotions, Runway often can't match Minimax's intensity. Finally, Sora delivered a balanced, slow-motion take, which you can speed up pretty easily. It also captures the environment nicely, complete with a cool camera move. Alright, moving on to our next example. We've got a woman in a setting similar to the previous shot. Once again, her face looks incredibly lifelike. Lots of interesting detail here. Kling does a pretty good job capturing the character's performance and spatial movement. Unfortunately, the eyes aren't as convincing this time. Luma degrades quickly yet again. The face starts to warp, and the realism takes a big hit. Honestly, I'd say Luma's the weakest performer overall in these tests. Minimax is still super chatty, probably because of the camera angle, the eyes didn't come through well. That said, Minimax remains fantastic at portraying emotions, just in a kind of wild horse way. Runway gave us a neat zoom effect, though it's a bit too static for our taste. Still, if you're after stability, Runway's a solid option. Lastly, Sora delivered the most impressive output, striking a great balance between quality and emotional expression. We're really blown away by Sora, though it does take some trial and error to work around those frequent hallucinations. Now keep in mind, these tests have their limits. In a full-blown narrative context, the real way forward seems to be syncing an actor's performance into an existing scene, and at the moment, only Runway offers that feature. But we're pretty sure the other platforms would catch up sometime this year. Still, this should give you a decent snapshot of what each platform can do. And when you just need B-roll footage, text to video and image to video are still invaluable tools in our AI filmmaking toolkit. So let me know in the comments which platform you think stand out the most for this kind of project. Now, let's look at a few more examples we've put together. Alright folks, for these next two examples, we had some fun diving into the imaginative world of artist Marcel Theriault. Kling actually handles our half-ladybug robot pretty well. We're stepping away from photorealism here, but it's useful to see how these platforms handle more fantastical settings. Luma gave us a hilarious mix of cartoon and animation, though the image quality still leaves a lot to be desired. Minimax really went all out, even adding human characters into the scene, which made it feel super realistic. The explosions on the ground and buildings were a nice touch. Runway, as usual, played it safe. It can struggle with really specific instructions, but you'll get good stability and solid quality from it. Sora turned out a very artistic take on our robot, with some imaginative camera moves, though, like always, it wrapped things up with a trademark hallucination. Next up is our giant octopus, looking like it just crawled out of a 1950s sci-fi horror flick with some awesome neon colors. Kling delivers a cool version, but apparently everyone in the scene is super brave. Nobody's panicking the way you'd expect. Luma gives us an interesting camera movement. But once again, the image quality falls short. The people in the shot aren't very well defined either. Minimax finally adds some motion to the octopus. It's pretty funny seeing one of the passers-by get jostled by a tentacle. Runway goes with a more subdued take. The crowd is rendered in higher quality, but once again, they're way too chill for a giant octopus attack. Sora gives us a totally bonkers version of the octopus. Sometimes Sora doesn't really stick to the initial image, or it uses it for a second or two before spinning off into its own creative interpretation. Alright, let's dive into the difficulties these platforms have when it comes to more complex movements. Once the quality really improves, maybe we don't need the text-to-video or image-to-video as much, but who knows, by that time these platforms might have just stepped up their game when it comes to simulating physics. Let's go back to that scene from episode 1, where Sarah is walking around distracted and collides with an older woman. No matter how many different ways we tried to generate that collision, it just wouldn't work. We can honestly say every platform struggled to recreate the exact movement we wanted. Our best guess? The AI training data probably doesn't include enough examples of specific actions like that. So even when we get its reference frames, the physics are just too complex for it to handle, at least for now. Hark, let's take a look at another shot from episode 2. We had a simple setup where Sarah gets into a car. Sounds straightforward, right? Sometimes the AI results turn out hilarious. Doors flinging open on their own, hands phasing through metal. Sure, Sarah has powers, but not that powerful. Cars shape-shifting like transformers, and ghostly doors shutting all by themselves. In the end, Kling 1.6 was the only one that came even close to what we needed. We think you have to keep your script super flexible. If a particular shot just won't work, you need a backup plan. We'll talk more about staying flexible in our upcoming technical tutorials. And finally, we had some fun testing out car movements. It seems the datasets have way more examples of vehicles in motion. Though the physics can get a little over the top, the results are still super impressive. We've even written some chase scenes for future episodes, and we can't wait to see how these platforms handle those high-speed sequences. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Here is a sneak preview from Save the World. This short scene is straight out of the episode 2, which is coming soon. I think it's a perfect showcase of how far the tech has progressed. You can now sync real actors' performance with AI-generated characters. Let's check it out.
Max, are you there? Got a minute?
What now?
We need a foolproof strategy. What if they're onto us?
We don't have time for what-ifs. Stick to the plan.
Remember, Brasso? You know what happened when we stuck to the plan?
And deviating from it would get us nothing. Focus, Sarah.
I'm saying maybe keep a plan B in the trunk, and a plan C. Hell, even a plan Z would be comforting.
Sarah, I'm working on some contingencies.
Thanks, Arthur.
This isn't the final version yet, but it shows how we can use real actors' performances. We truly believe this is the future of AI-driven storytelling, so stay with us for more specific tutorials on this. Alright, just a quick reminder, if you want to dive deeper into AI narrative filmmaking, and if some of you are interested in helping us with our series Save the World, feel free to join our community. Drop us a note and tell us about yourself. Follow the first link in the description below. And if you're not already, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us keep making this kind of content, so thank you in advance. Feel free to drop a comment too. We always make an effort to read them and answer as many questions as we can. Looking ahead in 2025, we're dedicating our efforts to creating more technical videos. The next one will be on how to build characters that are both realistic and consistent. Hope to see you there.